Whatever rocks your socks, whatever spins your top, whatever winds your watch, whatever flips your flop, whatever turns you on, whatever flies your flag, whatever bangs your gong, or whatever swings your bag. Do it often, but do it well, 'cause nobody knows and there's no way to tell when the ride ends.
A viewer named Fraser says that I should do more videos walking along and talking. The walk and talk, right? Grab a selfie stick and go down to the 7-Eleven and tell us which microwave sandwich you enjoy the most. Well, this is where I spend my time. I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to walk and talk about. There's no 7-Eleven. There's no mall. There's no roti lady. There's no doi suteb. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about. It's a big empty beach. It's my beach. Hatsatep. And I come here every morning. I ride the bicycle 10 clicks to get here. I walk, I don't know, maybe a mile, maybe more, on the beach, picking up cigarette lighters and net floats and anything that washes up, really. Today, not much. It was a very rough surf last night, and typically rough surf will just churn stuff back out to sea. But I come every morning, I walk along and look for shells and, you know, just stuff. I read a book recently called The Mask Under My Face by Mithran Samandrasam. I hope I got that right. Look on Amazon, The Mask Under My Face. It's a lovely book, beautifully written book, very deep in its knowledge of Thailand. You know, I look on these fora, expats in Thailand, Phuket expats, and there's all these people constantly, every day, asking, hi, I'm going to move to Thailand. I'm going to retire in a year. I'm going to move to Thailand. What's the best province? How much will it cost me? You know, stupid questions. Read a book. Read this book. You want to know about Thailand? Read The Mask Under My Face. The title, I think, is the most Thai title I've ever read. And I hope you can hear me over the wind. I have no idea what the wind is doing to the microphone. You know, they call this the land of smiles. Well, you only have to be here a week to realize those smiles don't mean anything. They'll smile at you while they're shooting you in the head. They've just been trained since childhood to smile in any situation. So they're smiling. It doesn't mean they like you. It doesn't mean you're doing something they approve of. It doesn't mean they're not going to charge you 4 times the going rate for a plate of pot thai because you came in the restaurant without a shirt on. So they hate you, and they're going to charge you 4 times the correct price. They'll smile the whole time they're doing it. And I think this is a common part of the human experience, right? We all have layers. We have the face we show our wife, the face we show our mother, the face we show our brother, the face we show our friends. We don't show the same person to our mistress that we show to our wife, right? That's one reason you have a mistress, because there's this other guy who needs to get out of the box every now and then and do his thing. And you can't do that with your wife, with your mother, with your co-workers, with your boss. So you have different faces. You are almost literally different people. I want to tell you a story. It's very brief, I promise, and it has no ending. I've never been able to imagine what the ending of this story should be. It's very brief. So I've said before, I used to work in a psychiatric hospital. I've worked in 2 psychiatric hospitals. The first one I worked as an orderly. It was my job to knock people down. It was my job to control people. People who sometimes had every right to be upset and throwing furniture, but yeah, it was my job to put them face down on the carpet. During that time, we had to work rotating shifts, right? We'd work 7 to 3 for a week, 3 to 11 for a week, and 11 to 7 for a week. So you never ever got, you know, adjusted. You never got comfortable. You were always sleep deprived. So we had what was called the quiet room. The quiet room was a tiled room about 10 by 10, I suppose, with a drain in the middle of the floor. Nothing else in there. Nothing except a drain in the floor. It was a bare cube of tile, like a bathroom with no sink and toilet. And if somebody expressed self-harm, ideation of self-harm or wanting to harm someone else, we would put them in the quiet room. If it was self-harm they'd expressed, the staff had to sit in there with them, sit on the tile floor and make conversation or let them sleep, whatever they wanted to do. But you had to be in there with them if they had said they wanted to hurt themselves. So a patient came in one night. I was working 11 to 7, and a patient came in, and she was a professional clown. And she was in full makeup and costume and big floppy shoes. She had done a children's birthday party. It was her job. She rented herself out as a professional clown. She juggled. She made balloon animals. She told jokes that made children laugh. And she had had a break, a psychic break, psychotic break, whatever. No. Anyway, she got very depressed after this particular party, and didn't take off her makeup or her costume, came right to the hospital because she was feeling like she wanted to kill herself. She was familiar with this, and she knew the best thing for her would be to go to an institution where they could look after her. So she did that. So she was in the quiet room in full clown makeup and regalia. And for 2 hours, I had to sit in there with her. And when I first went in, and she was a chatty woman. She was, even in her depression and her terrible, terrible, dark, deep sadness that made her want to kill herself, she was chatty, and she liked talking about herself and explaining to mental health professionals like me, and we're stretching that definition, explaining to the orderly whose job it was to knock her on the ground if she got violent, explaining why she thought the best thing in the world would be for her to kill herself. And she's wearing the clown makeup and the red rubber nose and the hair. And it took me a while to get past that, to be able to actually listen to this woman and take her seriously. But after 2 hours, I looked at her and I saw her face. I no longer saw the mask, right? I knew this woman now, at least as much as you can know a woman in 2 hours of conversation. And I knew her. I didn't see the makeup anymore. I saw her. And those are the masks, right? How long does it take before you see the Thailand that's behind the clown makeup? Behind the painted on, almost literally painted on smile? How long do we have to be here before we start to penetrate the mysteries? One more brief, that's 8 minutes, I got time. One more brief story about the hospital, and then I'll quit talking about the hospital. This is not about the psych hospital, but I used to be a transcriptionist, a medical transcriptionist, and I edited medical records. And there was a record that came through, a recording, and the doctor, it was a young woman in this case, and she's she's explaining an emergency room visit. A 4-year-old girl came into the emergency room, and the cornea of her eye had been burned away. The lens part of the eye had been burned away. Her mother had been standing in conversation with a neighbor smoking a cigarette, and she had her cigarette down, you know, she was holding it down in her hand, and the kid ran up and caught the cigarette right in her eye and squeezed her eye shut and clamped her eyelid down on that burning coal from that cigarette. 4-year-old girl. And of course it destroyed that eye. It destroyed the lens part of that eye. So they came into the emergency room, and the record was the patient is a 4-year-old female child in general good health who is seen today for traumatic encounter with a cigarette. She's lost her cornea. She's burned away the flesh of her eyelids, top and bottom. So there's a hole like this where her eyelid meets. And we've scheduled her for a cornea transplant. And it ended with, the mother has been prescribed nicotine patches. You hear that ka-chunk? That's the barn door being firmly closed after the horses fled. We all do that, don't we? We make decisions much, much too late. All right, that's my beach. Turtle Beach, baby. That's my walk and talk. Fraser, I hope you're happy. Is that really better than just sitting in my living room under the flag and talking? I wish I had a 7-Eleven to give you, dude. I wish I had a mall to show you. I wish I could walk up Doi Sutep so I'd be like all the other vloggers, right? That's what we want? Really? No, we don't want that crap. We want this crap. This is by far better crap, right? It's all amdram, it's all amateur theatrics. Anyway, it's all community theater. You know, why settle for walking down Soy Cowboy with a GoPro and call that a vlog? Call that creativity? No, no. I'm gonna go back to what I do, what Steve does best. Thank you for your attention. I am out of here. Have a good week. I love you all. Like, subscribe, share, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But seriously, do all those things. Thank you for your attention. I really enjoy this, honest to God. This is the best time of my week. And I love you all. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in a week. As I have said before, after I ride my bike and walk on the beach and get all sweaty and sticky and sandy and achy with pain in all my joints, I come here to the hot spring. This is the free hot spring. There are 7, I think, more behind that wall in the Hot Springs Resort. But in order to keep the villagers from burning down their new resort when they built it, they built this one outside for public use. So the villagers who'd been using the hot water here for, I don't know, 10,000 years could continue to use it. And today, I am lucky in that it is all mine. How about that? It's Monday. Maybe people are at work. At any rate, come and join me in the pool. Look how clear the hot spring is today. How clean. And I have it all to myself. Satu, Satu, Satu. This is, I am told, a 200-year-old tree. Not the palm, obviously, but the tree the shrine worships, if that's the correct word, honors. Anyway, let's get in the hot water. Usually, when there's nobody else in the water, the water is much hotter. Yep, that is some hot water. I don't know if it's hot where you are right now, But it rained this morning and it's fairly cool here. So a hot dip in the hot spring sounds about right. This is the big one, right? This is the big plunge. Oh. Oh. Relaxes your scrotum. All right, I'm gonna put, is this dry? I'm gonna put the camera down and take a soak. See you later. Well, it is very, very hot in the hot springs today because nobody else is in it. And, but it's a lovely, lovely experience just to sit here. I keep my feet in the water. The feet get the most abuse, right? So you might as well treat them to some hot water. You know, I was thinking about in the subject of masks. I have a pet peeve with people who operate behind avatars and fake names and throw abuse at other people on the web. I think if you want to watch videos as Buttmuncher69, go ahead. But once you start to comment, particularly if you start to comment negatively, you need to sign your name to your opinions. Otherwise, they have no weight. You're just a coward with a keyboard. So I have never posted, I've been published hundreds of times in newspapers, magazines, and books. And never under anything except my own name, except for 2 pieces of pornography I wrote in the 80s, and I sold one to Hustler Letters and one to Penthouse. And they were first-person accounts of Steve Rosse's life in Thailand, which were published in the letters section of those magazines. I got paid $750 for those, each of them. $750 for something that took me half an hour to write. So those I published under nom de plume, Steve Singleman. That was my roommate in college, 2 Steves. We lived together, Steve Rosse and Steve Singleman. But other than that, I have never used any name other than my own, Steve Rosse, R-O-S-S-E. But even that, it occurs to me in the meditative state that this hot spring puts me in. That's a made-up name. My father changed his name from Rosenberg to Ross with an E on his 18th birthday. And at the same time, both his parents changed their names to Ross with an E. Now, 3 months after I was born, my father went to prison for stealing the U.S. mail. Went to a federal penitentiary. He stayed in there 9 months. They let him out for good behavior, and he never told anybody they were letting him out. He just disappeared, dropped off the grid in 1958. Nobody ever saw him again, heard from him again. So nobody on Mom's side knows why the Rosses chose to change their name from Rosenberg, but it's a made-up name, you know, but it's the name I go by. It's the name on my passport, Steve, no N. Name on my driver's license, Steve, no N. Ross with an E. 5 letters in Steve, 5 letters in Ross. Mom was into numerology when I was born. 5's a good number. 5's a strong number. So anyway, you know, I piss and moan online about people who live behind masks and troll other people. I think if you want to voice an opinion, particularly a critical opinion, you need to do that under your own name. So that's what I do. That is what I will continue to do. But even so, I do it knowing that identity is sometimes fluid. I could have been Steve Rosenberg, you know. It's just, you know, I have no idea why I'm not. Anyway, thought for the day, sitting in the hot water. Take it easy. Let's see if I can do this. This is my favorite place on Turtle Beach. Bye.
Whatever shaves your sheep, whatever bakes your lamb, whatever digs your feet, whatever smokes your hand, whatever blows your nose, whatever chews your bone, whatever squirts your hose, whatever sings your song. Do it often, but do it well. Nobody knows and there's no way to tell. When you're riding, shoot